As soon as she entered the room, they started clapping. No sooner had she entered the room than they started clapping. Hardly had she entered the room when they started clapping. Okay, consider these three sentences. The structure of the sentence differs, though the meaning of the sentences is the same. Okay, we used three correlative conjunctions in all these three sentences. In the first sentence, we used as soon as, and in the second, no sooner, whereas in the third sentence, we used hardly. Okay, we use these correlative conjunctions to tell about events that happens one after the other. That is, one immediately after the other. Okay, so let's get familiarized with these conjunctions and how it can be used in sentences. Let's get started. Let's start with this example. As soon as I stepped out, it started raining. What's the meaning of the sentence? I stepped out and soon, immediately, it started raining. All of a sudden, it started raining. Okay, so that's the meaning of the sentence. Okay, the same sentence, let's see how as soon as can be replaced with the no sooner. The same sentence is given here, but we replaced as soon as with no sooner. Let's see how it goes. Okay. No sooner, see, as soon as I stepped out and it started raining, both these sentences, both are past tense. Okay, both happened in the past tense. Okay, so here we can just refer it with past perfect tense. Okay, so instead of as soon as, here we wrote no sooner, and as I told you, you need to use past perfect form so that no sooner had, okay, no sooner had I stepped out. No sooner had I stepped out. Okay, then here is a signal word for you, than. Okay, have a glance at this. Than, this is a signal word. This is most important. Okay, no sooner will always follow than. Okay, so how you get the sentence? No sooner had I stepped out. Okay, here is your signal word, than it started raining. Okay, so you got the sentence like this. No sooner had I stepped out than it started raining. Okay, what are the necessary changes you need to make while converting the sentence to this? As I told you, you have to use the perfect form. So that's why you used had here. And no sooner, I told you, will follow than. Okay, now let's see how it would be if we use hardly in the same sentence. Okay, here we are using hardly. Same like the previous sentence, you have to use the past perfect form. That's why we used had here. Okay, hardly had I stepped out. But in this case, instead of than, the signal word that you use would be when. Okay, so when you start the sentence with hardly, instead of than, you must use when. Okay, so hardly will follow when. Okay, so we will get the sentence like this. Hardly had I stepped out when it started raining. Okay, let's discuss some more examples to make it clear. Okay, as soon as I closed my eyes, I fell asleep. Okay, two past actions are given here. I closed my eyes immediately. All of a sudden, I fell asleep. There is not any time interval between both these actions. Okay, so that is it. So let's see how it can be. This as soon as can be replaced with hardly and no sooner. Okay, so first of all, no sooner. No sooner, as I told you, past perfect form. So we used had here. So no sooner had I closed my eyes. And you know what is the signal word that comes after no sooner? That is than. Okay, so no sooner had I closed my eyes than I fell asleep. So, in the case of hardly, how it would be hardly. As we discussed earlier, past perfect form is used here. Hardly had. Okay, I closed my eyes. And do you know which is the key word, the signal term that can be used when hardly is here? That is when. Okay, so how you get the sentence? Hardly had I closed my eyes when I fell asleep. Is it clear? One more example. As soon as she heard the news, she started crying. Okay, see, two past actions are there. She heard the news. Okay, the next moment itself, she started crying. Okay, that's it. Two past actions are here. So we can replace as soon as with no sooner here. So you know that here we used had, we made it past perfect, and you know that no sooner will follow than. Okay, so how will you get the sentence? No sooner had she heard the news than she started crying. How it would be in hardly. Hardly. Hardly, as I told you, see, follow past. It is, we have to use the past perfect here. That's why hardly had she heard the news. And you know that the signal term for hardly is when. So how will you get the answer? Hardly had she heard the news when she started crying. Okay? Another example. As soon as the debate began, people left the hall. Okay, so two past actions are here. The debate began, and soon after that, the next moment itself, what happened? The people left the hall. That's it. Okay, so we are going to replace as soon as with no sooner and hardly. First of all, no sooner. See, no sooner, and we have had here. No sooner had the debate. See, take care of this, okay? Begun. See, had means it is past perfect. Okay, past perfect. It will always follow the V. It will always take the third form of verb only. That is what you need to take care of. Okay, see, past perfect will always take the third form of the verb, V3 form of the verb. That's also you have to pay attention to. Okay, so had begun. Okay, begin, began, and the third form of the verb is begun. V3 form is begun. Okay, in all these cases, okay, you have to use the third form of verb only. Okay, so how you get it? How will you get it? No sooner had the debate begun. Okay, and you know, no sooner will follow than. So the answer is this. No sooner had the debate begun than the people left the hall. Okay, how it would be in hardly. Same way, we used to had here. Hardly had the debate begun. Take care of V3. Hardly had the debate begun. And you know the key term here, what you need to use is when. So hardly had the debate begun when the people left the hall. Okay? Now, let's discuss an exceptional case. Okay. See, in all the previous examples that we discussed, okay, we told about past actions. Okay, we discussed past actions only. Just consider this sentence. You can see that the verb in the sentence is in the present form. Okay, not in the past, but in the present form. And you are asked to rearrange the sentence using no sooner. Okay, so what would you do? You're asked to rearrange the sentence with no sooner, but the verb of the sentence is in the present form. So, is it possible for you to use the past perfect form here? No, it's not possible at all because the tense of the sentence is not in the past form. Okay, so what you can do then? If the verb is in the present form, just split it. Sees means when you split it, you'll get does plus see. Okay, and you got the auxiliary does here. Okay, that only can be used here instead of what? Had. Okay, because here the verb is in the present form. That's why. So how will you write then? No sooner instead of had, here you must use does. Okay? So no sooner does he. Next, remaining is see. No sooner does he see other children. Okay, than is same as in the previous examples. Okay, so no sooner does she see other children than he becomes playful. Okay, so what is the difference in this sentence? See, instead of had, here you used does because the verb of the sentence is in the present form. That's why. Okay, not any other changes. One more example like that. As soon as the teacher leaves the class, we always jump happily. See, here again, the verb is in the present form. Okay, so same as in the previous example. How will you write this? No sooner. Okay, when you split leaves, you will get does plus leave, isn't it? Okay, so you got the auxiliary does. So you need to use does here instead of had. Okay, so no sooner does the teacher, now you have leave. No sooner does the teacher leave the class, okay, than is same, okay, then we always jump happily. Okay, so always take care of this. If the verb is in the present form instead of, okay, past perfect, that is had, you have to use present form, okay, does. The topic we discussed today is clear and convincing to you. Come back for more lessons from me. Till then, bye-bye.